It really started to rain. Hi, hope you're well. Today we are talking about mental health and specifically my journey in the mental health field, how I became a mental health worker. I will tell you some stories that you would think is not true, but they are true. So I just want to have the couple of snacks here while I'm telling you the story. I went to the reject shop here in Perth to buy some snacks for the video, and I have some really good things for the video here. So if you just give me a couple of minutes to set up this, I will get into stories that you would think is they are fake, but they are real. They are really real. So what I was thinking to eat today is two Australian snacks. This is the famous violet crumble. Put it over there. And this is the new Mars pods. I never had this one before. Also made in Australia. Then this is something very interesting. Salty crunchy popcorn made in Italy. That will be good. And then we have a snack here from China. I think it is chocolate marshmallow. Well, we will find out. And then we have a tea from Saba. Yes, mental health. Mental health is something that affects us all. You may be seeing somebody that been out in the public, maybe when you are driving a car or walking, and they are screaming at the traffic lights. They are talking to the traffic lights. Or you can tell that they obviously doesn't. They obviously doesn't feel well. Mental health doesn't discriminate. It works the same way on the poor, the middle class, and the rich, and even the people that you see in the media, like celebrities, even up to the level of the president, anybody at any stage can get a mental health disorder. Of course, I am not a doctor or expert, but I think I've seen a little bit of the mental health, and that's what I want to talk about today. And I want to talk about how I got started in mental health, and also then my training and my experiences, and I don't know how long video this will be, but let's see. My earliest encounter with mental health was when my own mom got ill. She was diagnosed with what was it? A manic depressive schizophrenia. So I could talk about hours and papers about it when I was 13 years old. See, back then in the 1970s, when somebody got mentally unstable, it's not the same way like today that you can actually more openly talk about it. It was more like don't let the neighbors know. And also the support was not the same. I had an early encounter with a family member that became ill, unwell. And if you watch this video and you have had the same thing, we know each other. You've been walking in my shoes, and I've been walking in your shoes, and yeah. Well, but life goes on. Life goes on, and I think one of the tricky thing is with mental health is like compared to example, I break my arm. I go to the hospital and say, I broke my arm. Okay, let's operate, let's fix it. Put it in a cast and it's fixed. But I go into the hospital and I say, I have somebody talking inside my head and I'm not feeling good. The voice is telling me bad things. When I'm standing at the traffic light and the traffic is coming high speed past the pedestrian crossing, the voice is saying to me, look, there is that young boy, that young girl there standing in front of you. You know what to do? No. You need to push her in front. So, I am not dramatizing. I am not. I am just trying to say that even today, with all our advanced technology and all our advanced medicines, we don't really have a perfect solution for mental health. I think the only thing we can do is really just do our best. One of my first jobs I ever had was in Sweden, in Beckomberga. That was the Europe's largest mental health hospital. At the peak of the operation, they had over 1,000 patients there, and that was the time when they still did lobotomy. I actually met a few old patients there that have lobotomy, and that's basically you drill a hole to the brain. And back at that time, that was the way they was treating it. Let's get started here with the violent crumble. Yeah. So, why did I become a mental health support worker? What was the reason? This is my favorite. And mental health. Well, but you actually have to look after your own head here. I made a few notes here that I would just like to have a little bit on the side here, that if you don't mind, because so many things I want to tell to you. I had many jobs and I've been very entrepreneurial in my life, but the multi-level marketing business I was doing for 27 years, it crashed and burned, and I had to look for some new work. I did my old job beside being a multi-level distributor of health product. But after a time, being a masseur, you get what you say carpal tunnel here. So you will get a lot of pain in your hands. Don't worry, I will make another video about that. So my business crashed and burned, and I had to look for another job. After my business has crashed and burned, I didn't really have any fall back on, because I was thinking like the business would last forever. But I knew mental health from my experiences with mom at home, and also then my work in Sweden. So I studied for a certificate here in Australia called Certificate 3 in Disability. This Certificate 3 is very good because it gives you the foundation to do further studies, and it's not university based, so you can do it straight after high school. And if high school is the only education you have, it was hard for me to do the Certificate 3 for this disability, because it was a lot of reading, a lot of studying, and I have a thing called dyslexia, so I had to read the text many times, but I passed. And I'm fortunate that I had a really good teachers. If you want to become really good at something, source out the best teachers your money can buy, because they can give you the training, the knowledge, and also the confidence to go forward. And so the whole Certificate 3 took 1.5 years to study, and I did that part-time. And during that time I had also an appendix surgery, so it was a bit up and down. But one of the really good things that was happening was I got 1 month training with a company that giving how would I say, daycare activities for mental health patients. So I would just, for 1 month, I was having sort of a mentor. His name was Dante, and he was actually very good. I mean, he was very caring, he was compassionate, but at the same time he was also firm. And he taught me something extremely important. I mean, he taught me some of the fundamentals really for me, and that is expect the unexpected. I was having a couple of unexpected situations this week. Just to give you one example, I am turning to the left with my client, and I'm passing a pedestrian crossing. I am looking to the left. There's a man walking over the pedestrian crossing, and my client is pointing me to look to the right. Just suddenly he's pointing in front of my face like, look right, because he explained something. If I would have looked right, I would probably driven over this pedestrian. So I had expected something like that to happen. Not exactly like that, but something. Later in the same week, something else happened. With the same client, actually close to the same place where that I explained. I'm sitting at the traffic light, and then I hear a big crash, bang, and I can see like the pieces of car just exploding in the air, flying over the road, and what it was, I am here, and this is the other 2 lanes. Was a car coming down like this, and this car is turning to the right, but somehow he miscalculated the speed, so he hit the back bumper of the Toyota Corolla, and it just exploded, like pieces was just flying over the whole place. And I don't think anybody got injured there, but things happen, and like I was once in a cafeteria with one of my clients, and I was looking out from the window, and there is this man that is jaywalking over the road, and he's jaywalking like here, and he's kind of smoking, and he's in a bad mood, smoking in front of the car. This man's body became like a sea. It was kind of wrapped around from the side. It was kind of wrapped around like a sea over the bonnet, and he just flew there, and down on the ground he went and didn't move, and the driver was just in shock, couldn't move, but the bystanders quickly called an ambulance to pick him up, and I don't think he will ever walk again. So having that practical training from one person that is experienced, it's a very important. And Dante was just such a likable person, and I think he was from the Philippines, and everybody liked him. Everybody liked him. He had nice personality. He was married here, and but boy, did he was he a good support worker and mentor for me. I had long conversations with him, and he was working quite a long hours, and he told me that he was once driving a van on a road like 60 kilometers an hour, and on the back seat there was then the client, only one client in the van, and then the client had autism, and he was saying he was just driving there, and I think the client had a belt or a scarf, and he's putting it over the seat and start to, you know what I mean. I don't want to to have this video demonetized, but you know, like in the movies, and and it was serious. He was driving, and somebody was doing this from behind, but he managed to wrestle the arm from the client, between the seats, and kind of get the thing off his neck and just pin him like this, and he literally had to pin him down because he was under attack, and he was then managed to drive back to the hostel or wherever this person is living, and boy, that was a true story. Like he didn't have an accident then, but after that he told me, always expect the unexpected, and always have the client in front of you. see the job I'm doing now, 90% is me and the client. And if something goes wrong, it's my responsibility to fix it. I had a few times that I'm really close to call the police, very close. But okay. But Dante was okay then. But he gave me real life experiences that you can't just read from a book. And if I am in the public and I see that somebody is, can we say, just they are unwell, I position myself that they're in front of me, and ideally that I have the back against the wall. It was in England here a few years ago. I was traveling with my partner Kathy, and there was a family there, mother, father, and the son, and the son had autism. I think autism, and we was on the train station, and there was these trains that came really fast against the train, to the stations there, and then he when the train was coming, oh, that's Thomas the Tank Engine. I need to go and touch the train, coming like, top speed, like boom, really fast, and has no chance to stop for anything that could fall on the track. And I told Kathy, this is serious. And we was sitting away from the family in a way that we could face them. And then the husband just had restrained the son, put him in front of his body with his both legs crossing, and also arms like this, like a straight jacket, and just hold him when the trains was coming, because this is what can happen. When the train coming, you run out to the train. You as a parent, you go after him and you try to catch him. But if you start to struggle with him, you both can fall down on the tracks. But the man did the right job. He did the right job. He did the right job by restraining the son. Well, here we have pods made by Mars. I never had this before, so this will be good. Yeah, my after training went on, how the whole thing worked was, in the morning they was having sort of get together in a room where they would then have the people arriving, you know. Some of the clients arrived from hostels where they was living. Some of them were nowhere, just living at home. Oh, this is good. The buns, and So you were having this big room there then of clients with all kind of disabilities and all kind of ailments and all kind of different mental issues. The company was sort of like a day activity. Quite clever because if you had your son or daughter living at home, you could drop it off. It's like a adult daycare actually. You could drop them off there and then we had activities with them and there was a tall guy there that had always sunglasses on. And he was taller than me. I'm 6 foot. And he always smiling and always in a really good mood. Hello, I am John. It's my birthday today. And he was shaking hand. Well, the first time I met him, I was saying, no, hello, this is good. Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah. But the second and the third day, he was saying, hello, I'm John, it's my birthday today, yeah, shaking hands, and this was a thing that he was always doing. I don't know if he had ADD or HDD or what is it called, but this is a little bit bad term, but he was fully cooked. The guy was fully cooked. I mean, then the next week I am coming there and one of the support workers there was taking me aside like, hey, maybe you should not shake John's hand today. You know, I know that he said it's his birthday, but maybe not shake it today. How so? I said, well, he been complaining about itchy balls. One of the clients that came there in the morning too was the son of one of the richest men here in Perth. Here in Perth, there are quite rich people thanks to the mining industry, and then this was quite interesting because he had autism and he was so hyper and screaming and carrying on that they couldn't have at home. I was told at home he have his own room, but everything is covered with thick plastic because he cannot tend to soil himself. But one of the group activities that they was doing, like I think it was twice months was a big dance party, and I say it really lightly, dance party, and they was having this really big dance hall rented that was away from the main city, and they would come a lot of buses and cars, and but this was a dance party for the disabled, and especially the mentally disabled. So they were like maybe 150 or 200 disabled with mentally illness, and then they had a live band that was playing ABBA. I've been to rock concerts, so I think maybe the biggest one was 30 or 60,000 people, but I can tell you, that's I never been to a rave party, but I've seen videos about it, and I can tell you, this disabled disco, so to say, that it was on another level. See, there were people there with absolutely no brakes, no limits whatsoever, and they were just, they could run as fast as they kind of zig, screaming and jumping, screaming, jumping and crawling on the floor, and jamming in front of the group that was playing Abba's Mamma Mia. I mean, it like, you were very, very careful that you would not be pulled over, and also you sort of had to see that your clients didn't get into fights with other clients there. It's probably something that I will never experience again, but there was just like screaming and carrying on, but this was sort of like a way for them to release some of the steam. And then at the end of my sort of halfway through my practical period there at this quote-unquote daycare activity, I went out with Dante. This was really good because he could mentor me personally, and we went to pick up 2 clients. There was one client that has, I think it's called Angel Man syndrome. It's not really nice word, but it's also called happy puppet syndrome. This is a condition where you are kind of always like happy, like I know it's maybe a little bit derogative, but I am just trying to explain the condition of the client, and this client had difficult to walk, so they was having this metal rods for his leg, but he was strong. He was very, very strong, and I think it was maybe 120 or 130 kilo he weighed, but he his weight, but but it wasn't fat, it was just solid muscle. When you have a client like this, what you need to do is you just have to make sure that they're happy. They're happy. I was having the same client later again, and after my certificate, and we then went to pick up the other guy, and this other guy was just talkative. He was just talking and talking and talking and talking like a machine gun, and he was he he always wanted to go to McDonald's and have those small McDonald's ice creams. And the only way to control him, the only way, was if you behave. We go to McDonald's and we have an ice cream in end of the support. And he would ask about how we surely go to Macca's and have an ice cream. And we went. And we went to the drive-thru. And once we went to the drive-thru and they had run out of the ice cream, we had to go to another McDonald's and get the ice cream. Even though we went over time, once you promise to a client like him something, you must keep it. Otherwise, I mean, like the real hell will broke out. So we went then to the gym with these two guys. The strong guy with the angel man syndrome could just had 20 kilo dumbbells just waving it like this, like nothing. And then you had the other guy that was so talkative. This was a big gym, and you had all these people like glitchy and glamorous, and they was looking like the women had all the latest Lululemon gears on there, and the right water bottle, and here is this guy on the bench press lifting 1, 2, 3, and he did like series of 10 reps with the bench press, and he was screaming 1, 2, 3, and but he was working hard. He was working hard to his ability. I was looking at this. I was looking at him. And then when I'm looking at that muscle guy there, like, flexing his chest and just talking to the girls, and I think the person that is just coming there for socializing. And the one, but he that was kind of really screaming like this, pumping the weights. He worked really hard. He worked hard, much harder than the muscle guy there. Just, but it was just so funny. Like, you could be in the far corner here, and he would be here lifting weights, and you could, 1, 2. But the guy that has the angel man syndrome, you because he's one of his. He could probably like rip my head off me like he's that's strong. So then after the training we went to Macas and we did this, and I think I ate more McDonald's soft cone ice cream there than ever ever in my life before. So this was then teaching me that if you keep your client happy, then this was really teaching me, if you keep your client happy, then you can have a good support. So, if it means that you go and eat 6 cupcakes and have 3 cups of coffee, well, so be it. So be it. If that makes them happy. Not maybe the ideal, but that's much better than something happening in there. Yeah, we have then salty crunch popcorn, Italian one. I like to go to the gym with the guys. It was just an interesting experience. So what do we have here? Salty crunch popcorn. Oh, look, this sort of wrapped. Okay. I never had this before. So the popcorn inside. Yeah, these ones are actually quite interesting. Yeah, the training was good there. I could probably get a job there at this mental health provider that is giving daycare activities for different clients. I got to know the staff there at the daycare facility for the clients, and it was interesting to listen to them. There was a particularly one that was quite outspoken, and was telling me about the different places that she been working. She was telling me about it was a disabled client that she was lifting with a hoist down, I think from a wheelchair up to a bed where they can just help to shower him and so. And what was happening while she was lifting him by herself, actually that is not really the best. It's good if you can have two people, but you can use it if you want to. What was happening, the client start to touch her in an inappropriate way. She was then, that kind of thing, can't happen. So what then? She left him dingling there in the host for half an hour, and she went then to the management and complained, and the regular staff was then coming and looking after it. In a little bit more investigating into these issues, what became apparent that some of the nurses that apparently didn't get anything at home kind of liked it, but when the same guy was then trying to do the same thing to a new nurse, he got then like swinging there in the hoist for half an hour. She then quit after this incident. I have had some experience with lifting people with hoists, and you need to be careful. Let's try out the Chinese marshmallow here. There's one jet flying over the house. I don't know if you can hear, but it's going. Yeah, lifting the clients with hoist, you need to be really careful. Because the hoist is sort of like an X. It has a body and then it has like 4 slings. And you put it both under the legs and arms here, and then you lift it up. And one thing is, when you transfer a client like this, you can lift up the clients and then the battery that is powering the hoist runs out. So the client just get to dingling in the ear like this. The other thing is like you are quite busy, you have a lot of work to do, and you lifting the client, and then suddenly they start to scream. You wondering what they are screaming, and if they can't talk to you, you kind of have a look. What is happening? It's called a nut squeeze. Well, if I don't have to explain to the guys nut squeeze, but if you're a lady watching this, like sometimes the balls can kind of fall a bit down, and then when you have a sling and you are lifting up, they get kind of twisted there. And when you lifting, the whole weight is coming on them, and they get squeezed like it's like torture. So it happened to me a couple of times. Like not I was lifting a client and just got the sling a little bit wrong, and things got a bit squishy. Okay, try marshmallow. Oh, this is good. Not bad. Yeah. Oh. Got stuck in. Yeah. Need to be careful with these marshmallows too. Oh well, I think I just try one of these ones. Yeah. Yeah, so the mic 1 month was up then, and I was sort of ready to become a mental health support worker, and this was really just what I wanted to talk about, because the next two follow-up videos I have here, I am going to go in more details about two other companies with two other set of clients, and some of the stories are so wild. I'm going to tell you that you will probably think that I am making it up. Not even AI could make up this kind of stories. Okay. So what did we have today? We had the white crumble made in Australia. We had the pots also by Mars made in Australia. Salty crunchy popcorn, and this was the made in Italy, and this marshmallow. So I will be really biased. In my ranking, it would be number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1. They're all good, all good. So this is the first video of the 3-part series of mental health. How I got into mental health, my certificate, and then the next 2 ones will be about the clients. Wait until I tell about the clients. You will think I'm making it up. Anyway, that's another video. Thank you for today. Thank you for the support. And hey, by the way, I also started a new Buy Me a Coffee. link here in the description. So anybody that want to buy me a coffee, they're welcome to do. Okay, catch you later. See you. Bye.